Welcome! In this session, we will deep dive into the topic requirements. Requirements section can be used to plan, organize, and prioritize the test cases to be automated. By linking the test cases and execution list to the requirement, we can track the design and execution state of the project. It helps us to check the health and progress of the overall automation project. Requirements can be grouped based on application, or it can be grouped based on the business function, or it can be grouped based on the testing cycle. Requirements section has three important components. The first component is Requirement Folder. Right-click, Create Requirement Folder. Name it as 04-Demo Webshop. The next component is Requirement Set. So let's create two requirement sets for the demo webshop. One is Account Info. The second requirement set is Order Process. The third important component of the requirement section is Requirement. Under the requirement set, we can create the requirement. So for the order process, Compare Products is one requirement and Shopping Cart is another requirement. As soon as the requirement is created, we can see the weightage getting distributed equally between the requirements. But we can also specify the frequency class and the damage class for each of the requirement. As soon as we specify the frequency and damage class, the weight gets auto-calculated. We can also manually input the weightage instead of giving the frequency and damage class. Frequency refers to how frequent a requirement is used in business case, while damage refers to how much impact it has due to the risk or failure in the requirement. Weightage is calculated with the formula 2 to the power of frequency class multiplied by 2 to the power of damage class. For each requirement, we can specify the required test cases. And based on the required test cases number, the empty linkage gets created for that number of test cases. In the unlinked test case link, you can link a test case by right-click, Search and Link Object, and selecting the test cases from the fuzzy search window. Test case gets linked. Right-click, you can unlink the test case. The other way to link the test cases, as soon as you complete the design of your test case, from the blue section, you can drag and drop it to the requirement. The link gets created automatically between the test case and the requirement. Apart from the linkage between the test cases and requirements, we can also link the execution list. I have the execution list, which is already executed with pass and failure state. So let's link the execution list to the requirement. It will be linked at the requirement set level. You can see for under the requirement set, the execution list is linked. And as we click on Update Outdated Values, you can see the state of the test cases getting updated to pass and fail. Apart from frequency, damage class, weight, we have other metrics as well. which helps to track the overall automation project status. The first one being contribution percentage. Contribution percentage is weight of the requirement divided by sum of the weight of the requirement. For example, under order process requirement set, we have two requirements: compare products and shopping cost. If we have to calculate the contribution percentage of the compare products, then we need to do 32 divided by 32 plus 512, which gives the output as 5.88. So contribution percentage is 5.88. Similarly, for shopping cost, you will calculate taking 512 divided by 32 plus 512, which is 94.12%. So contribution is calculated using weight of the requirement divided by sum of the weight of the requirements into 100. Next is coverage specified percent. Coverage specified, the yellow, indicates number of test cases linked and have a completed work state, while the white color represents the number of test cases linked but yet to be completed, and also the number of test cases that are yet to be linked. So let's calculate for the yellow section in the coverage specified. Number of test cases linked and in planned state. We have one test case which is linked and is having in planned work state. So for planned work state, the value is 0.2. Relative weight into 0.2, you will get the output. Next, we need to find out number of test cases linked and in in-work state. This test case is in in-work state. So for in-work work state, the value is 0.5. Relative weight into value of 0.5 for in-work state, you will get the output. And finally, the number of test cases linked and in completed work state. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 test cases linked and in completed state. So 4 into 14.29 into 4 the completed state, the value is 1. The output is 57.16. If we sum up all this value, we will get 67%, which is the coverage specified percentage. The next one is test case design coverage. Test case design coverage is calculated using the formula total test cases linked divided by required test cases for yellow section. Let's see how many test cases linked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 test cases are linked, divided by the total required test cases, 7. So 6 divided by 7 into 100, you get 85.7, which is rounded to 86%. And for white section, number of test cases not linked divided by required test cases. And there is one test case which is not linked. So 1 divided by total required test cases into 100, that is 14%. This is how test case design coverage is calculated. Next comes coverage executed percentage. Coverage executed percentage yellow represents the total number of test cases that are either passed or failed, while the one in white represents the percentage of test cases not executed. Let's calculate the coverage executed percentage. For the coverage executed percentage, there is one test case which is in 0.5 state. Because it is in work state, so 14.29 into 0.5, you will get the output. And there is one test case failed test case which is in planned state. So we need to multiply the relative weight into 0.2 for the planned work state. You will get the output. And then there are 3 test cases which are executed and linked to the executions list. So 3 into 14.29 into 1, you will get 42.7. And the sum is 53%. The next metrics is execution state percentage. Green color represents the pass percentage. Red color represents the failure percentage. White color represents the percentage of unexecuted test cases linked to the execution list. And gray represents number of test cases that are expected but not yet created or linked to the execution list. So to calculate the pass percentage in the execution state, let's see what all test cases are passed. There are 2 test cases that are passed. One is in work state, so relative weight into in-work state value is 0.5. You will get the output. And there is one test case which is passed and is in completed state. For the completed state, the value is 1. So relative weight into 1, you will get the output. Sum of this value is 21%. And that is what you are seeing under the execution percentage as pass percentage. So this is how various metrics are calculated and displayed under the requirement dashboard, which will help you to track the overall progress and current state of the automation project.